This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. It's all but certain that Donald Trump is going to choose to run again for president of the United States in 2024. He is fundraising like he's going to run. He's talking like he's going to run. I believe he believes that the only way to extricate him from his many legal troubles is to run. And there's a group here in Washington, D.C. called CREW, Citizens for the Responsibility and Ethics in Washington. Don't think there's a "the" in there, just Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington. And they just wrote Donald Trump a letter informing him that if indeed he does run, they will file a lawsuit to disqualify him from office, from even running. And I'm going to read a couple of paragraphs from this letter because it is very telling. And because 15 minutes after I turned 40, my eyes stopped working, so I'm going to put my reading glasses on. Again, this is from CREW to the Honorable Donald J. Trump, 1100 South Ocean Boulevard, Palm Beach, Florida, 33480. Dear Mr. Trump, the letter says, I am writing on behalf of Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington to notify you that should you seek or secure any future elected or appointed government office, including the presidency of the United States, we will pursue your disqualification under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment based on your engaging in the insurrection that culminated on January 6th, 2021. You see, that's where we are right now, that future presidential candidates, former presidents of the United States, incited a violent mob to action against a proceeding that is constitutionally prescribed. And in the melee that ensued, people died. And this wasn't a spontaneous protest that got out of hand. This was a planned and well-orchestrated, well orchestrated that guns were brought and staged outside of the District of Columbia in Virginia by Oath Keepers. There was involvement by Proud Boys. Remember, stand back and stand by, Donald Trump said in a debate. This was orchestrated. This was premeditated. And there should be consequences. If the DOJ is not going to get it done in time, we have groups like CREW who are going to. Continuing on with the letter, the United States Constitution establishes basic qualifications for holding the office of president, as well as circumstances under which an individual may be disqualified from disqualified from holding future office. Article 2, Section 1 states that a president must be of at least 35 years of age, must be a natural-born citizen, and must live in the United States for at least 14 years. Article 1, Section 3 provides that conviction on articles of impeachment result in removal from office and may extend to disqualification from holding any office of honor, trust, or profit under the United States. Now, that didn't take place. Donald Trump was indeed impeached, but he was not convicted, and as part of a conviction, they would have to take a second vote to disqualify. None of that happened. So he's not disqualified for that reason. This continues, and Section 3 of the 14th Amendment provides that no individual who engages in insurrection or rebellion against the Constitution, after having previously taken an oath to support it, shall hold any federal office or state office, unless Congress, by a vote of 2/3 in each house, removes such a disability. Per Article 6, Clause 2, these and other provisions of the Constitution are the supreme law of the land. All federal and state officials are bound by them. And then they continue to explain what they will do. CREW believes you are barred from holding office under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment because you engaged in insurrection against the Constitution you swore to defend. On January 20th, 2017, you stood on the west front of the United States Capitol, placed your left hand on the Bible, and swore a sacred oath to, quote, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. On January 6th of 2021, an insurrection that you incited culminated in a violent attack on the same hallowed grounds where Congress was meeting to certify the Electoral College results of the 2020 presidential election pursuant to the 12th Amendment and the Electoral Count Act. They named the Act 3 U.S. Code, Section 15, by summoning a violent mob to disrupt the transition of presidential power mandated by the Constitution. After having sworn to defend the same, you made yourself ineligible to hold public office again. The evidence that you engaged in insurrection is contemplated by the 14th Amendment, including by mobilizing, inciting, and aiding those who attacked the Capitol, is overwhelming. So Crew, they explain in the final paragraph, very brief paragraph, link to this will be in the description below. They explain that they will be pursuing a lawsuit, bringing this to federal court. They indeed do have standing, and I would encourage you to support Crew. A link will be below. They do good work. They were part of the lawsuit that disqualified that New Mexico ding-dong from holding office. In September, here on a press release, in September, a New Mexico judge ordered Otero County Commissioner Couy Griffin be removed from office following a lawsuit brought by Crew and others, ruling that the attack on the Capitol was an insurrection and that Griffin's participation in it disqualified him under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. So there is precedent for this. This is not just some fool's errand, some publicity stunt by some group in Washington. This could absolutely work because Donald Trump did indeed incite a violent mob to insurrection. He wanted to stay in power. I know I was going to say, don't listen to Tucker Carlson like you're listening to Tucker Carlson, but don't be like the people who listen to Tucker Carlson who say, we're just questioning things. We're just questioning things. No, they're not. There is violence is their end game. And if they don't get what they want through insurrection, through overturning the election, then they will take it to the next step. That will be more instances of domestic terrorism. They are pushing for civil war at a breakneck pace. They are un-American. What do you think, though? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. I would absolutely love to hear from you. Follow me on social media. You can get at me there. Tell me how wrong I am there, or tell me that you appreciate me. The former happens more than the latter. I am at Dollemore on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, at Dollemore. And if you appreciate what I do so much that I bring you value and you want to help support what I do, click the join button below. Become a channel member for $1.99 a month, or click on over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you so much. I will see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.